Welcome to the Bureau of Fire Services Plan Review Overview for Child Care Centers. My name is Christy Carmichael, and I'm an analyst with the Child Care Licensing Bureau, and I'll be walking you through the plan review process and application. The slides being presented here are also going to be available on our website for you to review at your own pace. I'm going to turn off my camera for the remainder of the presentation so you can focus on the information being provided. Let's get started. First, wanted to highlight the differences between the Bureau of Fire Services, or BFS, and the Child Care Licensing Bureau, which you may hear me refer to as CCLB. The Bureau of Fire Services is a bureau within Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, or LARA. They regulate fire rules, laws, and codes throughout the state of Michigan. They ensure fire safety rules are met for child care centers, and they supervise qualified fire inspectors, or QFIs. Child Care Licensing is a bureau within the Department of Lifelong Education, Advancement, and Potential, or MiLEAP. We perform state licensing regulatory duties as required by state laws and federal requirements, and we collaborate with BFS to ensure fire safety rules are met. So what is a plan review? The review of all new construction, additions, or renovations of state-regulated facilities. This includes architectural fire safety reviews, along with shop drawing reviews of fire alarm, sprinkler systems, and hood suppression systems. Plan reviews help to identify issues that need to be addressed before an inspection is completed. If your building is new construction or you're planning on making modifications to your building, BFS does recommend submitting plan reviews before the building occurs to avoid making costly mistakes that might need to be fixed later. So when is a plan review needed? For a proposed facility, change of ownership, new construction, renovation, remodeling, additions to buildings, modification that would increase capacity or use space that would require a fire alarm system, a modification request that would change a preschool or school-age classroom into an infant or toddler classroom if it wasn't already previously approved, and any structural, mechanical, plumbing, or electrical changes. I want to point out that proposed facilities, new ownerships, and new construction would all mean a new child care license would be required, and anytime a new license is required, a plan review is required as well. For centers operating in a building that is currently functioning as a K-12 school, a plan review and fire safety inspection is not needed. So to be considered a school under the school code, the building must be used for instruction of children in kindergarten or higher. And for school buildings, applicants should submit the certification of school building compliance with fire safety provisions form, and that is also linked at the end of these slides. A BFS inspector must complete the original license inspections and any inspections needed following a plan review. They do not provide consulting services, and there is no charge to use a BFS fire inspector. A qualified fire inspector, or QFI, completes fire inspections for license renewals and can consult with providers before and during BFS plan review process. And they do charge their own rates. Here's an overview of the plan review process. You're going to need to create an Acela account through the BFS website. Submit your plan review application with required documents uploaded in a PDF format. After your application is submitted, you're going to check your email, including your spam, to make sure you've received the incomplete application email from the help at michigan.gov. And all correspondence will be coming from that email address. Make sure to take note of your project number issued to your plan review, also referred to as a PR number, and any corrections that you're going to be submitting will be under that same PR number. Once plans are approved and the work's complete to match the plan submitted, an inspection by a BFS inspector will be able to be scheduled. And if there are additional issues or findings during that inspection, updates need to be made, and then a follow-up inspection would be scheduled. Starting an application after you create your Acela account would take you to the home page, and from there you're going to select Plan Review. create an application. Make sure to read and then accept the terms and continue application. Next is the record type. So select Plan Review Application, drop down, then Bureau of Fire Services Plan Review Application, and continue application. Next is your project information. So you're going to add your facility name and a brief description of your project plans, and below that, adding yourself as a new contact. The detailed description only needs to be a few sentences and can include information like if the center is located in another building, has multiple levels, includes a kitchen, and other major descriptors. Drawings are required for all plan reviews. However, if the project costs more than $15,000, including materials and labor, a sealed or stamped architect drawing is required. You're going to enter the architect or engineer's information in this section, and the architect or engineer will be required to submit documents. If you do not meet that $15,000 threshold that requires that stamped drawing or sealed drawing, BFS still recommends using an architect to submit the drawings. Next is your facility location. Make sure to complete it in its entirety. And at this point, you can save your application or continue. Here, and the application information, you're going to enter your project costs. If you do not know what that is, just leave it at 0. This is not going to affect your plan review application. The facility type will be child care center, and BFS plan review type will always be construction plans or specs. I want to point out that below construction plans and specs, you'll see modification requests. This is not the same as a center submitting a modification to their license. If you do need to complete a plan review because of a modification, you'll select construction plans and specs. Next is the number of licensed children. Here, if you're not licensed yet, you'll not know your capacity until your consultant comes out to do their on-site inspection. So you should enter the number listed on your application or your best guess based on square footage requirements. And obviously, if you're submitting a modification and you do know your capacity, you can put it here. So after capacity and before payment method, there are 2 sections titled child caring institution or camp sections. Make sure you're not completing those. Next, you're going to select paper check as your payment method. Child care center plan reviews and BFS inspections are free. And again, at this point, you can save your application or continue. After that, you'll be taken to the digital projects where you'll submit your documents. Under submission package description, here's where you're going to put the name of your document and then upload or drag your PDF into the box. So down below, you can see it says drag files here to upload or click to select files. And again, make sure they are PDFs. Make sure to select the document type. The status should be green and say ready to submit. If it does not say that, it is not ready. And this is the final review of your application to make sure no edits are needed. Once all your documents are uploaded and you click continue, your application will be submitted. Next, we have floor plan requirements. The information on the following 2 slides need to be included on your plan review drawings. Please make sure to reference the technical assistance consultation manual and our licensing rules for specific requirements. Plans must be drawn to scale and all dimensions must be on the drawings. Here we supply you with a digital floor plan creator if you don't meet that threshold to require the architect stamped or sealed drawings. It's just a helpful tool that, so you don't have to hand draw it. Here's the first page of floor plan requirements. I'm not going to read through every one. Again, the slides are available, and I will also pause for a moment so you can look these over. But again, you're going to make sure you have all the details for floors and walls and doors and all the major appliances. Here's the next page, including stairs, fire-related items like smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, and exit signs. And lastly, room use for all rooms. You're going to need to label closets and bathrooms and the lobby and each classroom, how many kids you anticipate having in that classroom and the ages of those children. This is an example of a plan submitted by an architect and includes most of the requirements from the previous slides. Extremely difficult to include all the requirements onto one page, so feel free to submit different requirements on separate documents. Just make sure all of your floor plan documents are submitted into one submission with that application. So you might have one page for windows and doors, walls and floor dimensions, and another page you might have appliances, the room use details, and fire-related items. Here you can see there's, classroom 1 and 2 and 3, how many kids they plan to have in those classrooms, the hallways, and all the dimensions. After your submission, to review the status, you can go back to that home page where you first started your application, click on Plan Review, and here you'll see the different statuses as well as any applications that you're working on. If at any time during the plan review process there's more information needed, you'll receive an email from the help@michigan.gov. And at the bottom of that email, there will be notes regarding the corrections that are needed. You'll get an email anytime there's a status change to your plan review application. The different statuses are awaiting a client submittal or awaiting client reply. And in both of these cases, the provider needs to make the corrections in Acela. Once a plan review has been initially completed and the corrections are required, please refrain from resubmitting the plans before review until all the corrections have been made to the drawings. Submitting one correction at a time delays the plan review process. So to ensure efficiency, please provide the completed set of corrections in one single submission. Once your plans are marked as approved and the work's complete, you're ready to schedule your on-site inspection with a BFS fire inspector. And it will say approved with conditions and look just like this red mark. BFS inspectors receive the plan review applicant's contact information on that very first page of your application when the plans are approved with conditions. The BFS field inspector will reach out to the applicant within 5 business days. If you do not hear from your inspector, you may contact the supervisor for that county. And if you click here, there's an interactive map where you can find the inspectors and their supervisor's contact information. These plans below are required to be submitted separately from the floor plans. So fire alarm plans, sprinkler plans and calculations, and hood suppression plans. Just ensure that you're providing your plan review number from your floor plan submission to your contractor submitting these plans above so that everything can be tied together. After your fire inspection, there are 3 documents that need to be uploaded into CHIRP or submitted to your consultant. And that's going to be the approved with conditions mark would be on your BFS approved floor plan. And then you will also need to upload your BFS approved plan review and the BFS approved inspection report that you would receive after the inspector comes out and approves everything. And lastly, these are the helpful links that I had mentioned throughout. And again, you'll be able to view these and click on these links. Thank you so much for joining.